Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a video for you about the best loadout drop kits in Call of Duty Warzone. The loadout drop has recently increased from 6,000 to 8,500 due to a patch, and I think that's overall a good thing. It kind of makes them more valuable because they are extremely valuable. They're one of the most important parts of getting you a win in Call of Duty Warzone. So today's video is going to focus on my top 5 loadouts to help you get good, and I'll be focusing a bit more on the perks of these loadouts rather than just the weapons, because a lot of the air quotes best weapons are already very meta and very established, and I've covered that before. So I'm going to try to give you some good perk loadouts and give you a lot of variety in these choices, because the advice of get Overkill, M4 Cold-Blooded, and a sniper won't work for every situation and every playstyle. So a few of these might look a little bit weird. So let's imagine you play Warzone, you land, you get a gun, and by some miracle you actually survive your drop. You're doing better than me. You've got a bunch of money and you want to buy a loadout. Well, one of the best loadouts you can buy is one of the first ones we're going to recommend today, which will seem very meta and very normal for this channel, and that is what I'm going to call the basic workhorse M4 class that should get you through early game very, very easily, and it also works pretty well for aggressive players. The M4 you want to build is very similar to the competitive M4 class, except you'll be putting monolithic suppressor on it to stay off the radar and give yourself a bit of range. You'll take the grenadier barrel, larger magazine so you can spray people down, no stock so you can aim down sights faster, and a hybrid optic of choice so that you can swap around a little bit. I like running EOD so I don't get hammered by RPGs early game. I run shrapnel so I have more grenades, and of course ghost so I stay off the radar. For this class I also run Simtex and flash just for funsies, though C4 and heartbeat sensor are also acceptable. The goal of this class is to give you a Swiss Army knife kit while keeping Ghost. Ghost is just plain essential to not being spotted in squads. Staying off a UAV is something that I think is very important in Battle Royale, and if I need a sniper rifle with this class, I'll probably kill another squad and take their sniper rifle if I need it. The M4 as a weapon is very easy to use, it's very meta, it's very popular, and this setup effectively gives it extra range with no change in recoil. So the grenadier barrel will decrease your recoil and the no stock will increase it. They roughly cancel each other out. Then you have a larger magazine, which slows everything down, aim down sights and movement, but taking off the stock cancels that out. You have a suppressor to stay off the radar, and then you have hybrid optics so you can stay near or far as you need. And you really want to take advantage of these hybrid optics. The M4 works great in close quarters combat. You can use just the little red dot. It's very easy. I think everybody knows this. And the longer range zoom scope will work fine for most long range engagements and allow you to pepper snipers a little bit too. You can't be on UAV, you can't get killed by an RPG, and you have plenty of grenades to toss at enemies. The idea here is that you can fight in almost any environment against almost any enemy, and it'll work pretty much everywhere. Let's move on to number 2 today, which is definitely going to be a little bit strange, and it's going to be the one where you think I've totally lost my mind, but this is the absolute best support loadout in Call of Duty Warzone. For weapons, you want to build that really goofy 100-round solo zero a suppressed barrel kilo that I built in the previous episode on optics. The sight will reduce recoil, no stock lets you move fast. Basically, this gives you a purely bonus silence weapon with some additional zoom. I'm not taking overkill on this one. Instead, we're going to be running kill chain so that I can get kill streaks out of supply boxes. And I'm also going to be running Hardline so that everything I buy is at a discount. Then finally, I'm going to run Battle Hardened just because I don't like being stunned or messed with. And in the grenades, what you take on this class doesn't really matter, but the real important part is Kill Chain and Hardline. So this is a goofy one, and just hear me out on this one. The gun you're going to get has a 100-round magazine, it is suppressed, it has thermal optics, and it has decent range and low recoil because the optics also reduce the recoil. It's not easy to use, it's definitely an acquired taste. Statistically speaking, it performs well, and I get that a lot of people aren't going to like it, so if you just hate this, you can just swap the gun out and don't worry about it. But the perks on this class are god tier. They'll take you a very, very long way. Using Kill Chain, you can find free kill streaks in boxes. The 2 or 3 games that I ran this, I found a couple of cluster strikes and a couple of UAVs just for free in boxes. That's like getting $4,000 on the house, and you don't even have to go to those death trap buy stations to spend it. Hardline also means that you can buy stuff more cheaply for your team, and this is probably the most important part of the class. It kind of allows you to be the team banker. Everybody gives you your money, and you buy everything at a significant discount. Your armor plates are 1100, your kill streaks are 3000, everything is just cheaper. So if your team is cooperative, you will have a much better economy than any other team in the game. You won't have to do as many contracts, you won't have to kill as many squads to be able to spend and buy as much stuff. It isn't very good if you have everybody on your team using it. You really get all of the benefit from this class if one person runs it. What you're going to do is you're going to run banker and support. You're going to sit in the back line. You're not going to challenge snipers because you don't have cold-blooded or ghost or anything. You're going to scan with your thermal sight to find enemies, kill the people that you can, share your ammo since you'll have plenty with your 100-round mags. You buy everything that your team needs, and you ping those streaks when you find them out of boxes. In the gameplay you're seeing here that I'm playing with Carnage Clan, I believe I was playing with Lazy and Pro Reborn, we would not have won this match without me using the class. I totally understand that I went down and died at the end because I had to run across the tarmac, but how we got to where we are is me continually finding very cheap streaks in crates, buying streaks cheap in crates, and buying armor plates for everybody very, very cheap. I was the support this round, and it worked excellently. Number 3 today is a 2-for-1. This is going to be the section of the video that is very gun-centric, and I want to talk about two guns that I think perform very well, which is the FAL and the AUG with 5.56 ammo. The FAL, or FAL assault rifle, is very strong in Call of Duty Warzone. I like running the marksman barrel, VLK optics, the monolithic suppressor, of course, the basic 24-round extended mag without a whole lot. I don't like the 30, it's a little bit too slow, and close quarter stock so that I can aim down sights just a little bit faster without the no stock penalty of increased recoil. My particular AUG setup has to have the 5.56 NATO ammo kit conversion. I like the 30-round mag. The 60-round mag slows me down and makes it kick a little bit too much. So what I'll do is I'll run the 30-round mags with sleight of hand. I run a basic red dot sight, monolithic suppressor, Ranger foregrip, and this becomes an absolute workhorse of a weapon. The perks on this class is the exact same as the perks on the FAL class. I like running cold-blooded, ghost, and battle hardened with a whole bunch of grenades that I can spam around as needed. Both of these are good on their own, but they're even better when you get them together. The FAL is a very strong and underrated weapon in Call of Duty Warzone. It has excellent damage, excellent range, good DPS, good time to kill, it's accurate. It's pretty much everything that you could want in an assault rifle, except fully automatic fire, and it's not particularly easy to use. Single fire guns have always just been a little bit more difficult to use by their nature, but even given that, with the FAL, you should be able to pepper snipers at long range. You probably won't be able to truly challenge them and get kills, but you can get hits on, you can harass them, and if your teammates are sniping at them, more often than not, if your teammates damage them, you'll get the kill from your sort of spam fire with the FAL, and it can help you pick off weakened enemies. You should be able to win most normal assault rifle ranged engagements, and in theory with the FAL you can win close quarters combat too, but I find that the FAL kind of gets overwhelmed by M4 spam. You'll see some gameplay of that soon. Despite having the better time to kill, if you miss a shot or two, if your recoil's too high, it's just too hard to use, so it's not going to do great up close. What will do great up close is the AUG 5.56. Holy crap, this is one of the best backup weapons in the game. You have to have the 5.56 ammo, but when you do, that will give this gun the fastest time to kill and best DPS of any SMG in the game. Actually, best of assault rifles as well, and LMGs if I'm not mistaken. It's got extremely fast time to kill, and it truly shreds people faster than the MP7. The range on it, surprisingly good for a submachine gun as well. You can kind of fight assault rifle users with it if you really want to, though I wouldn't recommend it, and with the right attachments, the recoil is very manageable. I personally love having this as a backup weapon for close quarters combat because it gives me an actual advantage in almost every single fight. So what you will commonly see me doing in Warzone is running an FAL for harassment, and then my workhorse weapon is the AUG 5.56. I couldn't recommend this AUG strongly enough. Next to last today, I want to talk about my very aggressive AK-47 class that is primarily designed for solos. This is another weird one, but hear me out. We've built an AK-47 with no stock, hybrid optics, a compensator, Ranger foregrip, and stippled grip tape. What you've effectively got is almost a pure bonus AK-47. The recoil is going to be slightly less than base, the handling is going to be slightly faster, and it's going to have multiple levels of zoom. I'm going to run Quick Fix as my go-to perk, which is, I know it sounds crazy, but just stick with me on this one. We're also going to be running High Alert so that I will get a notification when enemies are looking at my back, and finally Tracker so that I can follow footsteps all the way around corners. So this is a weird one, and this is a weird one. This is definitely a weird class, but it works. The idea behind the rifle is pretty similar to the M4A1. You've got a Swiss Army knife weapon there with your AK that can do almost everything that you need to do. If you just don't like the AK, it's totally cool to swap it to the M4A1 or Ram 7 or something like that. The gun's not particularly important, I'm just trying to give you options. Quick Fix, not the most popular perk, but it can keep you alive in very clutch close quarter fights where you can't armor up easily. If you're really dropping people one after another and people are pushing you, Quick Fix can be very nice, though I get that it's niche, so if you don't want that, you could totally trade it out for EOD so that you can't be grenaded very easily. High Alert is awesome for solos. That means you won't get surprised from behind, because if somebody's looking at you from behind, your screen will flash and you will know that you're in trouble and you can dive and try to get under cover and stuff like that. Tracker works surprisingly well in Battle Royale with these bright red footsteps. It helps you chase people around corners so that you're less likely to, one, run into dark corner McDougalls, and two, being able to find those ninjas that somehow round an alleyway and then just vanish into thin air. Some people in this game are like master escape artists. Now, I do want to point out on this class, you don't have Ghost or Cold-Blooded and no Sniper Rifle for backup, so those are some staples that are missing, which makes this AK class, this aggressive one, a very high-risk, high-reward class. The idea behind it is that you have all the tools you need to hunt people down and play very aggressively, and you won't have time to kind of sit back and camp and snipe. Overall, I think this works a little bit better in solos than it does in squads, but it can work for both modes. Finally today, I want to talk about the class that everybody already knows and uses, which is the Overkill Thermal Sniper plus some kind of assault rifle class. Personally, I prefer to run the HDR Sniper Rifle because it has better range over the AX50, and I prefer to run the Ram 7 as my basic red dot hybrid assault rifle because it's better for close quarters combat than the M4, and I can use it like a submachine gun if I have to. One of the neat things about this class that I run compared to others is that I run Amped as my basic perks, so I'll have Cold-Blooded, Overkill I have to have, an Amped. And Amped allows me to swap weapons quickly, so I can swap back and forth between the HDR and the Ram 7 very, very easily. You should always have at least one Overkill sniper class in your kit. I know I'm trying to give you cool, new, unique advice, but it works and it's popular for a reason. You should always have one. Heartbeat sensor is really good on this one too. Some parting advice here at the end of the video, now that I'm done with my top 5 classes, is that if I go with the overkill method of getting a sniper and a rifle, I will almost always endeavor to pick up a second drop kit that will give me Ghost as well. Either a map drop kit, or I'll just buy a second one, or if I get a bunch of money, I'll buy a second one. So that way I can have my sniper, I can have whatever rifle I want, and I can have Ghost and Cold-Blooded and all that to stay off the radar. Another similarly effective thing to do is if I'm not going overkill first, but getting Ghost first, and an enemy that I kill drops a sniper, well, I'll just pick up their sniper as long as it's usable and good. The idea behind this strategy is that you get all of your snipers and your ghosts and your perks without spending very much money. Guys, that is all for this episode. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you learned something useful. If you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out. Need to... Wait, I'll be right there.
He's on the guy down.
Okay. Yeah, my guy got a pistol. Taking fire! Yep, I see him on here. Beat him down. I just punched him to death. Yeah, let's see if we can stabilize this puppy. Let's just go get him. Are we close enough? Close. Down one. Crack his armor. Yeah, this guy's so.
Drop it out.
I refuse to get out of the helicopter. That's what I got. Hey, I'm self-resing. He's stunned. He's stunned. Yep.
I got him.
Right here in front. Armor broken, but I'm out of bullets.
Oh, yeah. Bro, he's coming with me. He's on the other side. Oh my god.